What's going on YouTube? DePunk here. Thanks so much for coming back to Life Beyond the Moss. This is the Weekender recap where we talk a little bit about the things that have happened over the last week and then give a little bit of a plan as far as what to expect over the next week, what I'm hoping to accomplish. And, well, without further ado, let's just dive into it, shall we? I'm going to just grab my notebook because if I don't, you will know that I will just continue talking and this will end up being a 30 or 40-minute video instead of just a 10-minute recap. So, let's just go ahead and talk about a few things that we did this week. This week was amazing. I really enjoyed being in the shop every day, especially with the challenge of making a new video every single day. That is a huge challenge. um, I a lot a bigger challenge than what I was expecting going into it. That's for sure. And if you remember from last week, I had said that I missed the day before, I believe. This week, I also missed a video. But I'm not going to beat myself up about it because I want to release quality content. If you're taking time out of your busy schedule to watch my videos, the least I can do is make sure that my videos are at least interesting, right? I want to make something that is worthwhile of you taking your time to watch. So yeah, I've missed now two videos out of the 30 videos, but it's okay. I'm probably going to miss another one because I'd rather miss a day than to just put a video out just for the sake of putting a video out, right? I want you to look forward to seeing my videos, and I want, whenever you do come to see the videos, I want you to get something out of it. I want it to be beneficial. As far as things we did this week, we did the rolling table. We fixed that for my mom. It had the cheap plastic casters that just kept falling off, and my initial sort of temporary fix that I had 3D printed those little sleeves, they didn't work for all four wheels. So my solution was to mount black walnut riser blocks and then using lag screws, 4 lag screws per caster, remount some more heavy duty casters, and they work phenomenally. The cart rolls very nicely. It is a little bit louder, but it rolls very nicely, and there's no way that those wheels are going to come off now. So that's really, really cool. My mom is very happy about it, and she's been using it every day. So that's a huge win. Very happy that we were able to get that done. And I'm very happy that that creative block is sort of being lifted, and these projects that I've been wanting to do for so long are finally getting done. And it's very exciting. It feels very good to finally be able to check things off of the boxes, which is so nice. And then I'm standing here in this corner specifically because I really liked the implementation of the 3D printed items that we did a video on earlier this week. And the battery hangers up here are very nice. I like being able to see from anywhere in the shop, for one, that the batteries are over here and how many I have, ready at my disposal, ready to be used. Same thing with the sanders. I like knowing that they're there. I like being able to see that they're there, that I don't have to go searching for them whenever that's the next step in the process, right? We did print and assemble this organizer for the 5-inch sanding discs. At the time, I liked it, and it's kind of like, okay, this is a win. I really liked it. Everything's up, and all you have to do is slide off the one that's above it to access the ones below. But now I'm not so much a fan of that one. I did print this one here for the 6-inch sanding discs, and I'll show you it right here. But it mounts to the wall, and once it mounts to the wall, the bins are more easily opened. But each bin will slide out completely so that you can access the discs, either to refill it or to get one out specifically at a time, and then close it back up. And then once it's all closed up, there's very limited access as far as dust and debris getting in there and polluting your sanding disc. So I really like this design. And as you can see, that's 5 different bins, and that's exactly how many I need for the different types of, or different grits of sandpaper for the 6-inch sander that I use. So if I were to print that again with the 5-inch, I could still have all 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in a small form factor, and it'll be much more efficient, and it'll help block out any of the dust and stuff. And then there's also these very large, very clear and easy to read tags that are very easy to replace and change out as far as knowing the grits. So I like that that's all very easy to see. And nice layout, nice form factor. So that's exciting, and I'm looking forward to remaking that in the 5-inch size. And then there are some other things that I want to add to 3D printing. So we're going to do another video on improving this corner just a little bit more, and that'll be exciting because I'm definitely loving adding the organization and getting things a little bit better each time. And that's sort of my mindset going forward now with the cleaning of the shop. Yes, I wish I could have just a big purge and just get rid of everything that I'm not using and make everything all nice and clean right off the bat. But as the business changes and as things change and as as my own mind changes, things will need to be organized in a different way. And each area of the shop, you know, will have its own flow, and I won't necessarily know what that flow is until I spend some time in that specific area of the shop. So the cleaning and organization of the shop is going to happen in a more purposeful manner moving forward, that I will focus on an area and improve that area specifically and bring things from the rest of the shop to it, rather than just exploding everything into one shared corner and then working from that to try to organize. That never works out well for me. So yeah, moving forward, definitely going to go more with this purposeful. Right now, I am focusing on this corner. Yes, I'm bringing things from other parts of the shop because this is a good spot for a lot of things. This is a really good place for charging. I'm going to be able to put most of the battery powered tools over here. The angle grinder is going to go over here. The angle grinding discs are going to go over here somewhere. The sanders and the sanding discs are all over here. So that frees up some space from other things in the other spots in the workshop that I otherwise would have just thrown things or would have just thrown them under here. With this whole thing being up here now, I can get rid of this, and this will add organization for something else down the line. So I'm really liking the planned improvements of the shop, and it's going to happen a little bit at a time, and I prefer it that way. Another big thing this week was the end of the 30-day mindfulness challenge, which is very cool. And I did that video of me jumping into, or rather on, a giant pile of snow slash ice. It was cold and it hurt. And but the reason why I did that is because with mindfulness, I was hoping that my I had rewired my brain into thinking that, or in the sense that I could focus on the situation no matter what the struggle is that is going on. And that's sort of the goal here at Life Beyond the Moss, is to constantly be working towards a better, more mindful existence, to better process situations without letting emotion be the driving force behind those decisions. So, and that's exactly what it proved. That yeah, it was cold and yeah, it hurt, but I was still able to continue recording that video, recording that sequence of events, and move on to the next one. So yeah, I consider that a huge win, and I've had so much fun filming the 30-day mindfulness challenge, and doing a video every single day and sharing it with all of you guys, engaging with the comments, and talking back and forth about maybe what that quote means to each other. And I've decided to then continue. Well, I'm gonna stop and then continue. I'm doing a 90-day challenge now. So starting on Wednesday, February 11th, we're going with 90 days of mindful meditations, and who knows what I'm going to do to end that challenge. There's not going to be any snow, or at least I hope there won't be. It'll be May, so we'll see. Right? February, March, April, May. It'll be 90 days. So we'll see what's going on then. If you have an idea of what I should do to wrap up a 90-day mindfulness challenge, please, let me know down in the comments below. Make it something crazy or make it something fun. Maybe I'll dye my hair green to match the moss. Who knows? Let's have some fun with it. My favorite quote of the week was actually the quote for today, and it was from the Stoicism journey, and it is: knowing others is intelligence, knowing yourself is true wisdom, mastering others is strength, and mastering yourself is true power. I really think that's a good, powerful quote, and it's definitely with Stoicism and also with mindfulness and with Taoism. that you want to master yourself. You master your own emotions, master yourself before mastering anything else, right? Um, but that's my favorite quote of the week. Um, we can talk a little bit about failures or missed opportunities of the week. I didn't get out in the trails yet because of the snow, and with the one day of warm weather that we did have, it allowed things to melt, and then things have been refreezing and remelting and refreezing all week. So most of our yard, a lot of our driveway, is a very dangerous sheet of ice, and that is not something that I want to be going and exploring on uneven terrain in the trails, especially just for the sake of doing so. I'd rather do so safely, especially when we get our pups out. We don't want our pups getting injured as well while they're up going on the trails with us. So this week we're supposed to get some 40s and 50s degree weather days. So, and that's Fahrenheit. But we're supposed to get some really nice days. So the snow should continue to melt. And the second that, we're able to safely walk the trails, we will for sure do that. So we can sort of talk about the plans of where the trails are at and the improvements that we want to make. There's also a few videos that are involved with going out in the trails and being out there in nature and stuff like that. One being the Storms of Life video. I think I talked about that last week, and yeah, I wanna make that, and it's going to be, I think, it'd be very emotional for me. Be But I believe that it'll be a very good one, and we'll be just walking the trails and seeing sort of the wrath of Mother Nature and the storms that physically happen, and relating that to the emotional and the mental struggles that we face in the storms that are raging within ourselves. So I'm looking forward to making that video. That'll largely depend on when we can get out on the trails and actually just focus on being on the trails and just spending some quality time out there and just being with ourselves and with nature. And then also with being outside, there's a deer feeder project that I want to make. I've had the pipe for it. I've had the feed for it for a while. It's just we have not been able to access the part of the property that they are going to go to. So I'm going to make at least two feeders, and it's a real simple project. And it's something I definitely want to make a little video of, because if you have deer in your area or other wildlife that can eat from a similar feeder like that, it might be something that you would like to add to your yard as well. So be on the lookout for that video hopefully next week, if the weather cooperates for that one as well. And then we're going to do some more videos about getting back to business, as far as I want to see about getting this camera inside the laser for cutting our sun catchers. I think it'll be really cool. And like, I've never seen the laser working from that perspective, so it might be really cool. We'll see what kind of fun angles we can play with that, and just get a sort of a making it video for our sun catchers and some of the other things that we got going on. Um, Yeah, think a lot of things sort of hinge on the weather, or also just I got to get this engine block off of the table so that I can make a cutting board for our neighbor from Shaker, the Shaker Woods Festival. She ordered a 24 by 48-inch counter like block. Looking forward to making that, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, and there's just a lot of ideas. There's clocks and things that we just want to make just to make them to have some fun. So, yeah, there's a lot more coming up. Please stay tuned for more, not just for this next coming week, but for the beyond. And definitely keep an eye out for the mindfulness meditations. They are going to continue, at least for now. They'll be around lunchtime, Eastern Standard Time. So whatever time that is for you, be about 12 o'clock Eastern Standard. Um, is the time that I would usually aim for. I might play around with some different times with different days, but as we get more into summer, it'll definitely be a more of a morning time, at least for me. Um, but yeah, keep an eye out for those. We will continue making them. They will be the mindfulness and the stoicism journey meditation. So I'm looking forward to continuing that for another 90 days and beyond. Looking forward to the next week of figuring out what the videos are going to be. I hope you have a great start to your weekend. I hope you have a great Valentine's Day tomorrow, if I don't see you before then, or if you don't see me. And I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And then a great week next week. Got lots of possibilities, lots of awesome things coming up, lots of opportunities to do some amazing things. So please make the most of every moment moving forward, including the one that you're currently in right now. Thanks so much for being here. I value you and I value your time. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Have a great night, and I'll see you next time.